Hello and welcome. Thanks again for joining us. Google has become almost synonymous with information and innovation. I mean, the term Google it is so common. You hear it absolutely everywhere, whether you're looking for a recipe for umqombo, tea, African beer, or you're looking for table manners or etiquette during a high tea. You just Google it. It's what we do now. Also, you can imagine the worth of that search engine, Google. And one of the men responsible for Google is with us in studio today. It's David Drummond. He's the Vice President of Google. A huge pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much, David, for your time.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Let's first start at the basics. Tell us a bit about internet economy. What is it?
Sure. Well, the internet economy is pretty much all of the activity that goes on the internet. If you use the internet for anything, whether it's using Google or using Facebook or buying something online, you're participating in the economy. There are companies like ours who provide internet services, and we sell advertising and to businesses large and small. There are some companies that help you buy things and so forth. But there are also lots of companies that come from the traditional physical world or offline world that sell things on the internet. All of those things make up the internet economy.
And I think what I love about it is that it touches every sphere of society, be it political, be it just entertainment, something that you're looking for research. Every single part of society is touched by Google. But tell us a little bit more about the impact of the internet economy globally and also here in South Africa, to be exact.
Sure. The economic impact of the internet has been extraordinary, and it's only accelerating and growing in the global economy, and that presents great opportunities here in South Africa. It is already 2% or so of the GDP of South Africa. You're seeing, and growing faster than other sectors of the economy. So what we're seeing worldwide are not only companies like Google and Facebook and so on, but lots and lots of individuals and creative people and small businesses taking advantage of the internet to reach more customers. And as a result, they get more business, they hire more people, and we see more and more growth in that area of the economy.
I'm glad you touched on economic growth, because that's my next question. How does internet economy, or how important is the internet in ensuring the competitiveness of South Africa, both on a global scale and also regionally?
Well, I think it's quite important. It is, as I said, it's a growing sector of the economy. South Africa is very well positioned, right, to take advantage of all of the things that the internet has, an established banking sector, creativity, entrepreneurial people. So I think that taking advantage of the internet and having more businesses using it will really bode well for South Africans' economic competitiveness.
You mentioned that we are very well positioned, but there are also some challenges in us
Indeed.
Completely harnessing the effects of the internet. Tell us a bit about the challenges in South Africa.
Sure. I think the number one challenge is access and getting people online. This is a country of 50 million people. There's something like, it's estimated about 14 million only that are online right now. So once you get more and more people online, obviously that creates more of an audience and more customers and for businesses who come online to attract. And so it becomes this kind of nice virtuous circle, we call it, where everybody does better. So I think the big challenge is to make sure that more people have access to the internet and that the speeds are fast, so that you can actually do things and enjoy it and you don't get tired and fed up with it.
A lot of people will say that is the key issue,
yes.
the speed of bandwidth. It's quite slow, and also the cost is another
Yes.
factor that could contribute.
Yes, that's right. And so it's not only making it available, but getting the cost down. And thankfully, we're seeing a lot of evidence that that's happening on the mobile side. Lots of people are getting online for the first time with their phones. And we're seeing the data with phones, for smartphones getting cheaper, which is great. But we still have lots of challenges with broadband itself, and making sure that we have some more affordable options. And I think with more competition in the area, making sure that we're allowing new players in, all of those things can help drive the prices down.
Now, of course, I'm a bit biased to South Africa, but I know you've traveled the whole continent, and the digital divide is something that's still quite evident all over the continent as well. How is Google dealing with that?
Well, I think we are trying to partner with governments to accelerate getting more people access and online, and we're doing that in a number of ways. Helping governments figure out the policies, but also thinking about some technical solutions, some of which might seem a little crazy. For example, we've got a project called Project Loon. And if it sounds loony, it's because maybe it is a little bit. And the idea there is to have balloons that you literally sail over a country, and those, you have an antenna on your house, and they talk to the balloons, which talk to each other. And as a result, you can bring the internet via the balloons to places that are normally not served by the internet, where it's very hard, rural areas and places where it's hard to reach. So that's an example of something. We've launched a trial of that in New Zealand, and we're hoping to do more in South Africa and other places in Africa. Another example is something we call TV white spaces. As TV moves to digital, there's spectrum that used to be used for television, broadcast television, that should be available for other uses. And so we're working with governments to get that spectrum in the hands of new players who want to provide internet access with that spectrum. And again, that's something that you can use because it's frequency, like your radio. That's something that you can use in places that are hard to reach. So I think when you talk about the digital divide, you talk about it in Africa, a lot of it has to do with reaching people outside the urban areas. And those are a couple of examples of things we're doing.
Well, the balloon or loons idea may sound a little bit on the loony side, but I did say that Google was very innovative, and these are the kind of things that we need in order to take South Africa and Africa forward, especially when it comes to the internet. We've spoken about the challenges that we face, but opportunities are also in abundance in South Africa and Africa at large when it comes to the internet or the online space, and we'll discuss those opportunities when we come back.